like last time. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this mindfulness online circle. My name is Astuti, for those of you who know me. I'm Astuti, but for those of you who just joined this circle and never interacted with me before, I'm Astuti. I am a life coach and a subconscious mind reprogrammer based in Zurich. And I help go-getters to let go their achievement addictions so they can continue to achieve and to grow while being healthy, while being more healthy, much more content in them, in their hearts, and also much more peaceful. And basically the intention of me and Puja hosting this mindful online circle is to help all of us who wanted to and grow and achieve in a healthier way. And I personally believe that practicing mindfulness helps a lot, especially because I experienced burnout 12 years ago. And this is the idea that we grew together through this initiative.
I don't know why your internet is...
Or to create any habit or to build up a new habit is quite challenging to do it alone because it requires practice, discipline, and consistency. And this is why it is this weekly meetings, and every week Puja is going to cover one aspect. So is my internet still stuck?
Yes, it's getting stuck a little, on and off. Now it's okay.
Okay, on and off. Okay, perfect. So this is why 7 weeks, every Tuesday, every morning, and carving me time had been known to be very difficult for go-getters. And this is also why we're trying to pull you out. My role here is to hold the space energetically and making sure that the internet is okay after I speak. And Puja is going to be the content and hopefully joint forces will allow us to host you, to connect with yourself, and much more present. So Puja, I'm going to give it over to you, and while fixing my internet. Welcome,
you,
Puja,
Astuti.
and thank you everyone for being here.
Thank you very much. I'm Dipanjali Puja. Why I love mindfulness so much is I think it's the first step into your happiness. If you want to be happy, peaceful, joy, generate these kind of emotions, then it's a step that is prerequisite for all of that. And it's just a self-awareness. It helps you become more aware of yourself, get to know yourself better. And we'll start today. So today, week 1, we will talk about autopilot, what that is. We'll talk a little bit about meditation. The sessions, the way we are going to, the way I'm thinking of doing this is there'll be a bit of, theory or concepts, and then we'll dive into meditation and practice. So in 30 to 45 minutes, that's what we'll be covering. So today's is just simple awareness, understanding what that really means. And I will again describe what mindfulness definition is about, okay? So if you don't mind, Astuti, if you could just click that YouTube and let's see if we can put that on. It's 1 minute thing. And just follow what's on the YouTube. And if you don't have time, I mean, you can use the link for yourself as well later.
Can you hear it?
Count how many times the players wearing white pass the ball.
Okay, let's pause there.
If you haven't seen or heard about a video like this before, about half missed the gorilla.
Let me just get
Let's pause that. So how many of you saw the gorilla? Just put it on the chat or just hands up. I think there's a hands up thingy there. Reaction. Yes, we can see one person who spotted. Yes, we have 2 people. I did, but have seen it before. Okay. Okay, great. It is just to, now that most of you are aware, it's just example of how, you know, our mind is working and how our daily life is going. There are certain things that's just right on our face and we don't see it or understand. So that's just bringing awareness. Is that me that is echoing? Okay. Maybe you can mute Astuti. I can just hear a little bit of noise.
Everybody's muted, apart from me. Maybe I'll mute now.
Just you. Yeah. Sorry about that. So yeah, automatic pilot. We'll talk a little bit about automatic pilot. So what is automatic pilot? I think you are all aware of you have some awareness of mindfulness. So I'm sure you know about that, right? So can you use the chat box or just speak to us? What's your automatic pilot? What's your understanding of automatic pilot when we say we are on automatic pilot? Please do interact. This will be much better for our own learnings and practice, if you don't mind. Or chat. Do you have to unmute or it's? Great, not realizing where exactly I'm after a walk. I have to do something instead of resting. For example, resting is wasting time. When I brush my teeth, I start to walk around, keep my to-do list crossed and never stop. Behavior which is not based on conscious decision. Great. You guys are so aware of all your automatic pilots. Awesome. Always walking when on the phone. Yes, absolutely. So most of us are on this automatic pilot, right? So we wake up. How many of you just wake up and have the habit of using your phone right away? Yes, when driving is a very good example. So, okay. So you see, that's some of our automatic pilot. We just wake up, take our phones. We have certain habits, right? Or we wake up, we are like getting our coffee or tea. These are some of the automatic pilot. Now, in mindfulness, what does mindfulness really mean? Mindfulness means being present, right? So I'm waking up, being aware of that. But most of the time when you are reaching out for your phone, what are you doing? The only thing that you have on your mind is what? Let's get that coffee, let's wake up. So mindfulness is really being more attentive to our life and actively participating. Okay. So when you are walking, you are actively participating in your walk, you know, being aware of your surroundings. Or if you are just on the phone, the activity of walk is not such a mindful walk, right? By definition. So mindfulness is just being aware of what am I doing right now? How am I feeling? Is something bothering me? Is something going on? Being aware of ourselves and being engaged, really being engaged with whatever task or whatever things we are doing in life. Now, a very good example is also eating. So how many of us eat in front of the desk or TV or, yeah. So including, we do it all the time, you know. It's not like we are constantly in a very high state of consciousness or being alert and being active. So we're going to go a little bit into this. So mindfulness is just being aware of what's going on around me with myself, inside, outside, and actively participating, being engaged in everything we do. Now, there are multiple examples, like eating. Sometimes we eat really fast. We're talking on the phone. So these are all, just automatic behaviors that we are not conscious. When we do things like this, there's a reason why we do things like that, okay? And why we also need to do some of our activities in a more mindful way. Now, when you are doing your to-do list and going from one list to another, you are mindlessly, probably, if I ask you, going from one task to another, achieving one goal to another. And how many of you actually stop and say, okay, maybe I need to take a break, because taking a break is, again, not doing enough. It's not, how can I take break? I need to be doing, right? So, and this is what it is. And why do we need mindfulness? And how can we practice this? And what is it going to do? So I'll start with what mindfulness is not. Okay. So mindfulness is not a recipe for all your problems in your life. So just because you start practicing mindfulness doesn't mean that you're going to solve all your problems and you're going to be in bliss and flying like, whoa. It's not going to happen. Sorry. Mindfulness is not religious. It's not something that is related only to Buddhism. It's taught in different aspects. It's a way of being. As a human being, it's a way of being. So having that knowledge and understanding is critical. It is not something that is easy. Now, in the first session, and you will see it in these sessions when we're going to do some sitting meditation, you notice that just being aware of our breath, right? Even now, how many of you are aware of your breath? You are listening to me, maybe you have other things going on in your head. It's not easy. It needs a lot of practice. Like going to a gym is not easy every day. We have to push our butts, right? So it's not easy. And mindfulness is also not something that is going to a lot of people also have this thought that you're gonna have some experience, a scary experience, that you're gonna lose your mind. No, it's not gonna happen. You can always be in control. Now, what mindfulness is, again, the qualities. We touched this in the last week's session. There are qualities, it's attitudes, it's behaviors, it's certain way of being. And the way I like to say what mindfulness is and how I experience mindfulness, when we are becoming more mindful, it's a lifestyle. It's a way you want to live your life. You no longer want to be just the busy bee person, right? That's why you are here. And you want more relaxed, like Astuti said, you still want to be doing and achieving all that you would like to do, but at a more calm, at the same time, feeling calm and joy, and that is a skill that can be learned through mindfulness. Okay. So with this, I will now start. If you have any questions, please put it on the chat, because I'm going to do a sitting meditation so we can dive into experiential learning. Any questions, any thoughts, please do share. Or Astuti, if you have picked something that I haven't, please. Okay, so let's again reflect 2 seconds. Okay, now before I get into the meditation, sorry, I just want to point out a couple of things about meditating. So there might be questions around, how do I meditate? What is the right posture? I think I touched in the first session as well. It's just, as it's the most important thing is comfortable. Make sure you are comfortable. Wherever you are sitting, lying down, there are different forms of meditation. Walking, eating, you can do with everything that you do in life. You can just bring this awareness and this attitude to it. But really, when we are doing meditation, comfort. Because if your body is not sitting comfortably and you have pain here and there and discomfort, then you cannot really focus on your breath or the whatever form of meditation you are doing. So there's that. The other thing is there are, I'm sure you are aware, or maybe not, there are cushions that you can put, at your butt, just to make your back straight. Ideally, if you can keep your back straight, that would be ideal. Again, because you have a spinal cord, this breath, goes around. So that's ideally recommended. But sometimes there are people who have back pain, and that's not possible. So lying down can also be, it's totally fine. Okay, you can sit down on a chair or cross-legged. I'm always cross-legged. That's how we Nepalese are. So for me, that's normal. It's a lot comfortable. So in terms of physical postures, that's whatever feels right for you. There is no right and wrong here. So that's one thing. The other thing with practice is, if you can find a timing, experiment with this week and see what works best for you. Some people are morning people. Like me, I love to wake up in the morning. I love to do my meditations. So that's me. If it's in the evening, maybe evening is a better time for you to practice. So keep a little bit of time every day. I invite you, I really encourage and to experiment in these 7 weeks. If 5 minutes is too much, even 2 minutes, and we'll go into it, 3 minutes. There's a multiple ways of doing meditation. You don't need hours. Yeah, that's what mindfulness is not. You don't need many, many hours of practice to be a mindful person. Okay, so find what is a good time. I'm going to share a couple of questions that you can reflect as you go back. There are a couple of questions: what you want to focus in these 7 weeks, what do you want to get out of it, and when would you like to practice in a daily basis, 7 days. 2-3 minutes is not a lot. Okay, so for those of you who feel like taking a break, taking some time for yourself is way too much, I'm inviting you to have at least 5 minutes for yourself. Okay, that I can guarantee you anybody can do it. So 3 to 5 minutes, challenging you. Really, you like challenges, you like to achieve your goals. So 5 minutes every day, or in the least 3 minutes just to breathe. Okay, timing. When you are forming a new habit, if you do systematically around the same time, giving the body your system, a timeline, then that helps as well to make it more easier for you. So that's another thing. Now, there are multiple, like I said, many ways. Is it the right way? You have to put your awareness in your third eye. Everything works. We are all different. We all have different ways and understanding and feeling comfortable. The only thing that we try to do in mindfulness or meditation, there needs to be a focus. Okay. So a lot of people use candle. They put a candle in front and then they look at the candle. That's fine. You can close your eyes, and breath can be your anchor. So these are called anchors. All you are trying to do is just fixing somewhere, because mind wanders, right? And then all you are doing is bringing it there, whatever that is, whether it's a flower or a candle or a god or a tree or your breath or whatever. That's all we're doing. The mind goes around. That's what mind does. That's its job. Mind just wanders. That's why it's called monkey mind. I'm sure you've heard about this term, monkey mind. Monkey keeps going. What we are doing here is bringing, oh, the monkey went off, bring it back to that one-centered position. And this can be done through body scan, which we will do right now. This can be done through just breathing, being aware of your breath. The other quick way to do, I think I did on the first session. Sorry, I'm referring quite a lot to the first session. If you haven't had a chance, maybe take a go with it. It's also just looking around your environment, 5 senses. Okay, these are practical things you can do anytime, anywhere. So let's get into the meditation. This is sitting meditation. And now find a comfortable position. And bring now, if you want to close your eyes, feel free to do that. If you want to open your eyes, you can also do that. I personally find that closing my eyes gives me a better experience, but choose what works best for you. We are choosing sitting meditation because we all know what sitting is, whether it's on the floor, chair, your bed, wherever you are most of the time, we are just sitting. So just using what's already there as a practice. So sitting is, there's nothing special about sitting, right? We all agree that, we are always on our butt all day long. Most of us who work in office and all that, we're just sitting there. Maybe you can use sitting as a mindful exercise. So mindful sitting is going to be slightly different from ordinary sitting. And it's the same way as when I say, let's breathe, bring your attention to your breath, we get aware of our breath. Otherwise, all day long, when we are achieving our goals and doing our course of the day, we are not aware of our breath. So the difference in any of these forms of meditations or types of meditation, the key here is awareness. Being aware of when you are on an automatic pilot, when we are doing things mindlessly, and when we say, oh, look, I'm walking and I'm just on the phone. Or if you have kids, your children are there, but we are always on the phone, or we are talking to someone else. We are not 100% with our children or people that you are talking to, or people that you are around with. So when we start practicing mindfulness, there's a quality of your experience is different. And that's not something that I can describe, but I know you understand what I mean. There's a different connection that is happening with each other, with the experience that you're having. So let's start. Now, when we practice this, whenever you think of doing the setting meditation, just note that you are making a special time for non-doing, okay? We consciously adopt an alert and relaxed body posture. So then we can feel relatively comfortable without moving. And then we reside with calm acceptance in the present without trying to fill it with anything else. It's the same as practicing breathing meditation, okay? So just being aware of your sitting position, making yourself comfortable. Again, it helps if your back is straight. And we call it dignified posture. Just being very with the head straight, not too high, so you start having pain in your back neck. Your back aligned vertically. This posture is recommended simply because it allows the breath to flow more easily. It is also the physical counterpart of the inner attitudes of self-reliance, self-acceptance, and alert attention that we are cultivating, okay? So as I said, you can be anywhere, sitting on the floor. You don't have to change unless you really want. Go ahead and do that if you have time. Now, if you are sitting on a chair, the ideal is to use one that has a straight back and that allows your feet to be flat on the floor. However, I have my crossed legs sitting on the chair, so whatever feels comfortable. Now, as you bring your awareness to the posture, the way you are sitting, just be aware what's going on there. Just be aware of your body posture now that you've adjusted. Be aware of the feelings of sitting, your butt on the chair or floor or bed, wherever you are. And the moment we do this, we have selected, we bring our attention to our breath. Just feel it come in and out. Just feeling that breath, okay, in and out. And as the definition of mindfulness goes, we dwell in the past, we are in the present moment on a purpose. So the purpose is just sitting. Our purpose right now is sitting meditation. So we are being fully aware of this moment where we are sitting. It could be anything else, eating, dancing, talking, okay? And we'll just, with the breath, we'll be aware of moment by moment. And that is breath by breath. It really sounds simple, and it is. But full awareness on the in-breath, okay, now. Notice as the air goes in your nose and how far it goes as you inhale, just being aware of that. And then again, full awareness on the out breath as you let the breath go out. The whole process. Letting the breath just happen now. Just notice now. Just observe. Feeling all the sensations. This is conscious breathing. Now we do this sitting in front of a TV, but you're not aware of your breath. So here, just being a little aware of your breath in. Notice your belly is moving, how your body is responding. So we can sit and watch TV, like I said, but when you are sitting here like this, nothing to watch but your breath, your body, and your mind, with nothing to entertain you and no place to go, the first thing you'll probably notice is that at least part of you doesn't want to stay at this for very long. After perhaps a minute or 2 or 3, either the body or the mind will have had enough and will demand something else, either to shift to some other posture, or to do something else entirely. If you're experiencing this, finding it difficult to just sit and be aware of your breath, this is normal. It is inevitable. You can't run away with this. But what I invite you to do is just be aware of that. It is at this very point when you see yourself getting fidgety, or maybe your thoughts, oh, I'm not doing it right or wrong. All of those, if you are aware of that, then the work of self-observation gets particularly interesting and fun. Normally, every time the mind moves, the body follows. If the mind is restless, the body is restless. If the mind wants a drink, the body goes to the kitchen and fetches for some water. If the mind says this is boring, then before you know it, the body is up and looking around for the next thing to do to keep the mind happy. And it also works the other way around. So most of the time, when we are on autopilot, we are not even aware of what our mind is saying, and our body automatically responds. So here, the practice that we are doing is telling your body to be sitting, doing nothing. There's nothing else we are doing. We're just sitting, being aware of the breath. Sounds boring for many of you, that you're wasting your time. So the practice is just sitting and noticing yourself sit and what's going on inside you, being aware. If the body feels the slightest discomfort, it will shift to be more comfortable, or it will call on the mind to find something else for it to do. And if you are genuinely committed to being more peaceful and relaxed, you might wonder why it is that your mind is so quick to be bored and being with itself, and why your body is so restless and uncomfortable. You might wonder what is behind your impulses to eat, to fill each moment with something. What is behind your need to be entertained whenever you have an empty moment, to jump up and get going, to get back to doing and being busy. What drives the body and mind to reject being still? So when we practice being mindfulness and meditation, the purpose of the exercise is not to answer these questions. The only purpose is rather we just observe the impulse to get up, or the thoughts that come into the mind. And instead of jumping up and doing whatever the mind decides is next on the agenda, we gently but firmly bring our attention back to the belly and to the breathing, and just continue to watch the breath moment by moment. And again, we may ponder why the mind is like this for a moment or two. But basically, we are practicing accepting each moment as it is without reacting to how it is. And with this very simple practice, we are training our mind to be less reactive and more stable. We are making each moment count. We are learning to take each moment as it comes and valuing anyone above any other. This is the way we are going to cultivate our own natural ability to concentrate our mind. By repeatedly bringing our attention back to the breath each time it wanders off. Concentration builds and deepens, much as muscles develop by repeatedly lifting weights. Working regularly with the resistance of your own mind builds inner strength. And at the same time, you are also developing patience and practicing being non-judgmental. This doesn't mean we are giving ourselves a hard time because your mind left the breath. We simply and matter-of-factly return it to the breath gently. The key word here is gently. Not punishing yourself, not saying, oh, my mind wandered off again. I'm not doing it right. It's not about that. Mindfulness does not involve pushing thoughts away or trying to get yourself rid from them. To quiet your mind doesn't work like that. We are not trying to stop our thoughts as they cascade through the mind. The only thing we are doing is simply making room for them, observing them as thoughts, letting them be for once, using the breath as our anchor or home base, for observing, for reminding us to stay focused and calm. So, whenever you feel right, you can slowly open your eyes. Thank you. So I invite, if you can share one or two things, that'll be great. How was that? Any thoughts? Please feel free to unmute. Ask questions, anything. How was that experience for you?
It's very calming, but I still get very distracted.
Awesome. But Christine, that's great, because being aware that you are distracted is the whole purpose of meditation, just being aware. Okay. And I hope as you practice more, again, this is all about practicing. It's not going to come from one day to another. I've been practicing this since my early 20s, 2000 early 20s. It's everyday work. So I hope with this simple way of just trying to sit there doing nothing, especially for go-getters and high achievers, I know it's a very big challenge. And in the beginning, it's normal that we find it very, very difficult. But with practice, you will experience. I distracted a lot, but I feel calm and jumpy. That's, again, wonderful. You are noticing, you are being aware. I have a tendency to breathe in through the nose, but breathe out through the mouth. Absolutely. Whatever feels right. There's no one way to do this. You can breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth, and maybe you can experiment just breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your nose. So that's no problem at all. Thank you for the question. Related to autopilot, what is good to do consistently for the next days until the next? Great question. So one of the home practice I would like to give you is, please choose something that you do. Like it could be anything: brushing your teeth, drinking tea, walking, any activity. Choose one and try to do this mindfully. So this is, you can go back to the recording and listen to the meditation. I don't know how long it took. I think not more than 10 minutes, right? So if you can do that at least 2 to 3 times coming week, and just being aware, like, automatic pilot, we brush our teeth automatically, right? We are just, so bring your full attention to that one activity, whatever it is, whether it's eating, whether it's walking, whether it's on the phone. There's a phone meditation also. I will do that during one of the courses. So there's any activity, choose any activity that you can do and bring this awareness. So how is my hand going? Oh, up and down. And just what we are doing is really being fully aware of the whole process. So if it's eating, being aware from the moment you put your food together, we'll do eating meditation. Maybe next session we can do that. Next week, please do bring something to eat, like grapes or a nut or a fruit or anything, cake. And we can do cake and sweets. And I'll teach you you will learn how not to feel guilty, because most of the time we eat these nice, fatty, calorie-filled things, and then we feel guilty. So thank you for the question, Astuti. Choose any activity. And it's also interesting to put a journaling, like how that experience goes, what your awareness is, just for your own self-awareness, being aware of your own way of doing. And what you get out of it, like something happens there when you start doing things in a more mindful way. So just keeping, a couple of points or jotting that down. What you could do is from the 3rd of November until 15th of December, you will see your own, this is a normal practice in mindfulness, you will see your own changes or difference from when you started now to how it will be by the 15th. Okay, anything else before we leave?
I think I would just like to invite everyone, if you cannot make it in some dates, in some of the Tuesdays, just register so you can get the recordings. I'm only sending it out mainly through the Eventbrite registration list. So if you can't make it next week, just register anyway so you get the recording. Therefore, you can continue practicing even when we don't see each other in the session itself. That's it.
Great. Thank you so much for being here and taking time for yourself. It's a great achievement. So wonderful to everybody. Thank you.
Yes.
See you next week. Bye
See you next week.
bye.
Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.